And Elsa,
That's very cool, actually.
Lola's putting up with him more. Elsa plays with
People. It does seem a little weird to be talking about summer barbecue season.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still in my woolly socks and 2 coats to take the dogs out.
I know.
Because it's pouring rain.
Well, when I drove home the other day, it was snowing on the highway.
Exactly. So I'm doing this. I'm doing summer because if I don't, I'm going to lose hope. So
well, it's coming.
It will come. I think it will be short, but it will come. So we better be prepared to enjoy the days that we do get.
Exactly.
This is the Summer Social DIY class, and it's actually really cool. There's some really good stuff in here.
Okay.
And I'm recording it, so it will be on YouTube. So if you want to go back and look at the recipes, they'll be there, because there's some spectacular recipes in here that I'm definitely going to try. Some I have tried and some I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm just really excited about this one because I love the kind of DIY projects of stuff that you're going to do anyway.
Right.
So this class has some good secrets and is going to show you some ways of using Young Living products to enhance your summer experience. Using things that you have and cooking, or doing projects that you were going to do anyway, which is what I really like. So let's get started.
All right.
And just because I'm recording, I'm Chris Razima, and I'm going to host the class tonight. And if you have any questions if you're watching the video later, just give me a DM or email me at hello@newwellnessperspective.com. Here is something so good. Guacamole. Now, this is a nice one because you can keep the avocados whole until you need to use them. And what I've discovered is that if you keep them whole, you can either freeze them, or you can keep them in a canning jar full of water. And as long as they are covered with water and in your fridge, they last an incredibly long time. I just learned that a few months ago and gave it a try, and it works brilliantly. So you can buy avocados when they're on sale and either freeze them, like I would take them out of the skin, chop them and freeze them, or you can just keep them in the fridge covered in water. But this is we're going to start with some appetizer recipes, and this is the best. This is a really good one. And the interesting thing about these is that we're going to replace some things like lemon juice with lemon essential oil. And the nice thing about that is you need 1 drop. And these oils can help support a variety of body systems and taste great. So you're getting kind of the health benefit and the taste benefit out of them. And so Lime Vitality, which is one of the oils in here. So let me just stop and talk about white label oils. Young Living has 2 distinct lines of oils, one with the colored labels and one with white labels. The ones with white labels have gone through the process to be labeled as food. In Canada, they've gone through CFIA regulations, and in the States, I think it's FDA, Food and Drug Administration, so that they are labeled as food and so can be taken internally, and the labeling is different. So if you have it's Lime Vitality in the States and Lime Plus in Canada. But the thing is, what's different about the white label lime and the colored label lime, is the label. The oils in the bottle are exactly the same, but they are labeled differently based on whether it's cosmetic use or internal ingestion use. So if you have a colored label lime, you can use that in the food. Okay, but Lime Vitality, or Lime Plus oil, which is the white label version of lime, and regular lime oil, supports your digestive system, your immune system, and your respiratory system. And this one has also lemon vitality in this recipe, and that supports your digestive, immune, and respiratory systems as well. Now you can also add grapefruit oil to this just for another little kick and a little different citrusy flavor. And grapefruit vitality oil supports your cardiovascular system. Now, the only thing is if you take certain blood pressure medications, you have to be careful because you're not supposed to take grapefruit with them. So just check your labeling if you've got any kind of cardiovascular issues and see if it says you can't have grapefruit. But if you have none of that, feel free to add a little bit of grapefruit to this recipe to jazz up the lemon and the lime. So this lemon lime guacamole takes 2 ripe avocados, and you take the big seed out and you finely mash it. Then you add 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw red onion, really finely chopped, 2 cloves of crushed garlic, a half to 1 drop of lemon vitality or lemon plus oil. Now, how you do that is you take the lid off and you take the dropper top off and you use a toothpick. Because if you try to put 1 drop in, sometimes you get 2 and it's like overpowering. So if you just use a toothpick into the oil, it's much easier. You can regulate how many drops you get much better that way. And then a half to 1 drop of lime oil. Dice up a Roma tomato because they're nice and thick and pulpy and not so liquidy. Put a tablespoon of fresh cilantro in there and some salt to taste. And you mix all of that up and add the lemon and lime oil using the toothpick. If you want to remove some of the bite of the red onion, soak the chopped onion in warm water for 5 minutes, and it will help take some of that like hot onion out of it and just make it a lot more cool than hot. They take it out of the water after 5 minutes and you mix in with the guacamole, and super easy. You just serve those with tortilla chips, and that's a really nice brain healthy. Avocados have some great oils for your brain capacity, so that's really nice. And carrying along with this kind of Mexican theme, there is a super easy blender salsa that you can also make. And what you do with that is you just take a 28-ounce can of organic diced tomatoes, and you take about 1/4 of that can, and you add cilantro to taste. Some people like cilantro, some people don't. So add cilantro according to your taste, a clove of garlic, a chopped up jalapeno pepper, take the seeds out to make it less hot, and then 2 to 3 drops of lime oil, some 3 teaspoons of sea salt, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Then in a blender, pulse about 1/2 of a white or yellow onion in the blender until it's really small pieces and a little pulpy, and then add the rest of the can of the tomatoes to that and pulse a few more times, and then mix all of it together with the tomatoes that you mixed the jalapeno and sea salt with, and you're ready to go. It's a beautiful salsa, really, really fresh and summery and super healthy for you, especially with the oils. Now, if neither of those are things that you're really fond of, here's a salad dressing recipe, which is made with the grapefruit oil. So it's called grapefruit vinaigrette dressing. Take 3 tablespoons of grapefruit juice, either from the can or freshly squeezed grapefruit juice out of a bottle, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of honey, and 1 or 2 drops of grapefruit oil, and then a pinch of salt and pepper. And blend that in your blender so that the vinaigrette gets nicely mixed, and you've got a nice salad dressing. That one's really, really quite nice. It's very light and summery with that grapefruit oil in it. So those are some ideas for appetizers that you could use. You could take out the vegetable of the lemon or the lime and use the oils. Any questions about that one? Cool. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about some drinks, adult beverages. You know, everybody likes to have a nice drink on a nice summer evening. So here is a summer sangria that is delicious. It is super, super nice. And it's made with real food ingredients plus essential oils. And it incorporates lime vitality, which again supports your digestive system, your immune system, and your respiratory system. It uses citrus fresh vitality or citrus fresh plus, which is a combination of citrus oils and grapefruit vitality, both of which support your cardiovascular system. It has some orange oil in it that supports also not only supports your digestion and your immune system, but it promotes healthy skin. And then to give it just that kind of mojito kind of kick, it has a little spearmint vitality in it, and that is also for your digestive system. So summer sangria. This would be great for a party if you're having a bunch of people over or you were going to a potluck, because it's 3 bottles of red wine. You could use Cabernet, Merlot, or Pinot Noir, or a Spanish wine would be nice, like a Tempranillo. 1 cup of fresh squeezed orange juice, a cup of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, half a cup of brandy, a couple of apples cut up into chunks, green or red. And it would depend if you wanted something tartar or sweeter, which apples, a couple of oranges cut into round slices, a lemon cut into round slices. Now, tip here, when you're using these fruits and you are putting them in your drink, you really want to wash them with something like the Thieves vegetable soak, so that you can get any wax coating off. All commercial produce like oranges and lemons and apples tend to have a thin wax coating on them to help preserve them in the store. So you really want to wash that off, and it also washes off pesticides and dirt. So give them a good soak in water with some Thieves vegetable soak, and then dry them and then cut them up and put them in your drinks. You don't want all that any pesticide residue left on the skins of these fruits circulating around in your wine. Then 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 cup of Ninja Zing or just seltzer water for the sparkle, and a half a cup of Ningxia Red. Some strawberries for garnish, and you're going to want to put 5 drops of orange essential oil, 5 drops of grapefruit, and 3 drops of lemon or citrus vitality in there. And what you want to do is mix the wine, the honey, and the brandy in a really large pitcher or maybe a punch bowl, and stir until the honey is dissolved. That can take a little while depending on how crystallized your honey has gotten. And then add the fruit and refrigerate it for at least 2 hours. Best though to let it sit overnight with the fruit floating in it. Let the fruit really soak in all of the wine and then start to release its own juices. And then just before serving it, add the essential oils and either the Ninja Zing or the seltzer water, and then garnish with some fresh strawberries. And there you have it. Beautiful group summer sangria, delicious taste, very fruity, nice little wine behind there and some brandy to really kind of just give it some body. So it's absolutely lovely. Now, if you are more of a mojito person, which are beautiful in the summer, because it's such a nice, light, refreshing kind of summer drink, here's a recipe for mojitos. So you have 2 shots of rum, 1 shot of agave syrup, half of a squeezed lime, a sprig of mint, a splash of soda water, a cup and a half of ice, and 2 drops of spearmint essential oil, and 4 drops of lime vitality oil. And what you want to do is you put the mint in your glass, and you have a muddler or a spoon or something to kind of break down the plant tissue and make it crush it so that it starts to release its oil. And you muddle that in the bottom of your glass, and in a blender, you put all of the other ingredients in the blender and you blend them. Then you pour into the glass and serve that you muddled the mint in, and then you serve that with a slice of lime. It's beautiful. Do you have one of those two that you might like to try, Lori? Or are you much of a drinker?
If I'm going to drink in the summer, it would be the mojito.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I like a mojito, and that one sounds delicious. Okay, well, let's talk about non-alcoholic drinks and drinks that you can use for kids too. Now, this is one that I drink all summer. I love lavender lemonade. I find that lavender and lemon go so well together to really kind of quench your thirst in the summer. It's just amazing. And this one doesn't have a ton of sugar in it. So your kids will like it, but you'll feel, or your grandson will like it, I betcha. But you're not giving them all that sugar that really kind of ramps them up. And the lavender vitality, we talked about the lemon supporting your immune system and your respiratory system and your digestion, but lavender supports your cardiovascular and your nervous system, which makes sense because you use lavender as a calming agent to go to sleep or to have a massage or relax. So when you put it in your food, it has that same impact. So lavender lemonade is just a lovely thing to have in the summer. And this recipe is just 14 cups of warm water, a cup of lemon juice, some demerara sugar, which is a sugar that's higher in molasses content than regular white sugar or even golden sugar, 8 drops of lemon vitality, and only 1 drop of lavender. Lavender is pretty powerful and very, very flowery. So you just want to use it extremely sparingly and mix it all in a gallon container and chill and serve over ice. You, on a really hot day, you will drink that whole pitcher because it is so good. It's just delicious.
Almost in it.
I love that one. All right, so let's talk about the marinades that you can make for summer that use essential oils instead of the food product. Some grill marinades. So if you buy marinades in the store, typically once you open them, you have to use them quickly. So you have to, be very conscious of the fact that you might waste some because you can't make a certain amount. You get sorry.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the secret of marinades is knowing the effect of varying durations of time of using a marinade. So marinating for 2 hours or less will give you a surface flavor on whatever you're marinating, on your chicken or your beef or your pork or whatever. For fully infused flavor, like right through a steak or right through a pork chop, you need to let it marinate for 8 to 24 hours. And the thicker the meat, the longer it takes to absorb the flavor. So just remember that when you're trying some of these, so that you give it the time that you want in terms of the depth of the flavor that you want. So these ones this first marinade uses lemon vitality or plus oil, lime vitality, and coriander vitality oil. And coriander is really good for the digestive system, which is why you get little coriander seeds in an Indian restaurant after dinner. And it also supports your hormonal systems. And then this recipe has black pepper vitality oil in it. And black pepper supports your digestion and it supports your nervous system, which is very interesting. It's not a calmative, it's energizer. So this marinade has just the juice of 2 limes, a third of a cup of olive oil, cloves of garlic, some chopped cilantro leaves, a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of chili powder, and a half teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And you could probably leave both of those out if you want it hot. A teaspoon of kosher salt, and you use kosher salt because it doesn't have iodine in it. And then 2 drops of black pepper and 2 drops of lime. So if you've ever eaten black pepper and lime potato chips. That's the kind of flavor that you're getting here. And this is a great marinade for chicken. So mix it all together and put it in with some chicken breasts or some backs attached or boneless chicken pieces, and let it sit for 2 to 6 hours. And the key here too is let it marinate in a glass or stainless steel container, because citrus essential oil will start to degrade plastic. So you don't want to be using a plastic bowl for this to marinate in. So use, like glass or ceramic or stainless steel. So this is a really good chicken marinade. So I also have one that is a shrimp marinade. So you can make shrimp kebabs. So what the shrimp one takes is a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, a half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a teaspoon of chopped fresh parsley, a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 drops of lemon, 2 drops of coriander. And this you let marinate only for a very short period of time, because the lime will actually cook the shrimp. But so you want to just marinate it for like 30 minutes, skewer it, and then quickly grill them on the barbecue or in a pan, however you want to do that. That's a delicious one too for shrimp. Make sure you've cleaned the shrimp well and skewer them on wooden skewers that you soaked in water. I'm getting hungry even though I've had dinner. Okay. So we've had appetizers and we've had the main meal. Now I want some dessert. So I've got some ideas for dessert here that you could feed to anybody in your family. It doesn't matter what they're, if they're vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, it doesn't matter. They'll love these. These citrus coconut popsicles are amazing, amazing. And again, they're using lime vitality oil, which supports your digestive, immune, and respiratory system, and citrus fresh vitality oil, which is a combination of a bunch of oils, including grapefruit and tangerine, and has a little bit of mint in it. So it has this little undertone of mint with these citrus flavors. And then you'll need also a can of full fat coconut milk. So what you want to do is blend the coconut milk, some agave syrup, which is like a 1/3 cup or to taste, depending on how sweet you like your popsicles, of agave syrup and lime vitality oil. So you put those in a blender and you just blend them. And then you pour them into a popsicle mold and you put them in the freezer for 10 minutes. And then you bring them out of the freezer and you just the very top, you put with the orange juice or orange pineapple juice or whatever kind of fruit juice you want, so that you've got the creamy popsicle on the stick. And then at the very bottom, you've got a little layer of fruit juice. So it's kind of like a super creamsicle. And then you put them back in the freezer after you top them with the juice, and you freeze again for 30 minutes. And then you put the popsicle sticks in and freeze till firm. It does take a little while longer to freeze because of the coconut milk. So you've got some time to kind of play with that. But if you have one of those popsicle makers that has the stick holder, you could put those in right away and just freeze till totally frozen after you pour the juice on. And those are super tasty. So they've got a slight coconutty flavor, they've got a slight minty flavor, and then the power of the lemon, lime, orange, or citrus, like the citrus vitality oils in them. It's really refreshing and cool. I'm going to make some of those, definitely. I love the combination of coconut milk and orange. It's very nice. So if we're sitting outside and we're eating, well, hopefully we're sitting outside when it's warm and we're eating and we're having a drink and we're having our popsicles, we are going to have some skeeters or gnats or no-see-ums, whatever pesky little bug is around your area, you're going to have them come, especially when they start to, or wasps even, when you start to smell the food. and to smell you sitting out in the nice warm weather. So instead of going to the hardware store or Canadian Tire and buying DEET laced bug spray, that's quite bad for you, here is a DIY recipe that you can make your own outdoor bug spray, which is really lovely smelling and not harmful to your skin. The only thing I have to say is that whenever you're using citrus oil, you have to remember that citrus oils are photosensitive. So if you spray it on your arms, you don't want to go out into the full sun because it will increase or it will decrease the time it takes for your skin to burn because it's photosensitive. But this is a really nice spray. So you want 2 ounces of witch hazel. So first of all, you want a 4-ounce spray bottle, like that little blue one, 4 ounces. You put 2 ounces of witch hazel in it, 2 ounces of distilled water, 20 drops of thieves, 20 drops of lemon, 20 drops of rosemary, and 20 drops of citronella essential oil, all in that bottle. And then shake it up really good. Really nice to have back in your patio or in your camper. And you can also use this blend, 2 drops of it in a diffuser. So what I like to do is instead of spraying it on myself, I like to have a diffuser on the table outside, and I have this outdoor spray or similar spray creation diffusing so that it gets around the whole area. And so everyone at the table is kind of supported, and it's lovely. I really like this one. You have any questions, Lori? You're kind of stuck there. Oh, you're off. There you are. Back again. No, I can't hear you.
I just muted because the dogs are carrying on here.
Oh,
No, I bought a similar mixture at a dog show, believe it or not, in California a few years back. It was all essential oils
yeah,
that I use for the dogs.
yeah.
And I think that it keeps ticks off as well.
Yes, I think the rosemary is a tick deterrent, and the citronella. Yeah,
But the other thing to remember is that rosemary can cause seizures in dogs. So
oh yeah,
if you have dogs that are seizure prone, you shouldn't.
oh yeah. Don't use it. That's a good tip. Yeah, it's a very good tip. I wouldn't spray this particular blend on them. I think there's probably blends that are less intensive with the drops of the oil. If you're wanting something to put on the dogs, this one I would just spray on us, or actually I would mostly use this one as a diffuser blend where I was sitting, and then it probably won't hurt the dogs because the dogs can wander away.
Yeah, let me look at this one. It's called Fleece. It's got sunflower oil, citronella oil, cedar,
Oh yeah,
lemon eucalyptus, orange clove,
yeah.
grape seed, and neem oil.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the neem oil will smother any insect. That's what they use that for, because it coats their exoskeleton and smothers them.
So you just mix this with a quart of water.
Oh yeah.
2 drops of liquid soap.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you could use thieves.
Yes, you could use thieves.
Yeah.
Because it's high in cloves.
Yeah. So it says this can be used on the animal, the bedding, and the bedding.
Perfect.
But not on cats, and not on birds.
Not on birds, no.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so if you forget your outdoor spray, you can carry a little roller ball of oils that are mixed together to help with the bugs. And for this one, you need one of these 2-ounce roller balls, and you use 5 drops of lavender, 5 drops of purification, and 3 drops of peppermint. If you're using it on children younger than 2, you'll leave the peppermint and purification out and just have the lavender, and you mix the oil with some carrier oil, and you can apply this to any area you need as often as you need it. And it's kind of like if you've got a bug bite, or if you've got a sore spot, or you just want to heal an owie, you can use this. And it's actually, you can use it as often as you want. And it smells fantastic. It's quite soothing because of the lavender and the peppermint. They're both quite soothing. The lavender or the peppermint will actually cool you down if you're really, really hot. Rub it on your, like on the sides of your neck and on your thyroid gland, and it will totally cool you off. Peppermint is very, very cooling. Okay, so here's another option. If you don't have a diffuser outside, you can make a floating candle using citronella. Now, I don't know about you, but I used to buy citronella candles from Canadian Tire, and they were powerful, rank things, but they kept the bugs away. Citronella oil does not smell terrible like those candles. So I'm not really sure what the hell's in those candles that you buy. But this citronella is beautiful smell. It's kind of citrusy and herby, and not at all. The candles I used to buy kind of smell like petroleum, almost like gas or diesel or something, and it's just gross. Then you light the wick and there's like black smoke everywhere. I don't want to be breathing that. I got enough issues. I don't want to be breathing that. So here's how to make a nice floating candle that can sit out anywhere that you want. My note here says that those citronella candles actually don't contain citronella oil. They contain something that's citronella scented. And because it's fragrance, they don't have to report what it actually is. So anyway, let's be safer and make something with citronella. Now I have several bottles of citronella. I have one in the house, I have one in the RV, and I have like an extra stock just in case we need it, or we're going out to like a barbecue or something, and I take it with me. And I actually just put a little bit on my wrists and a little by my ears, and the bugs leave me alone. But this is can be quite pretty. So you get some kind of bowl, any kind of glass bowl that you have that you can take outside. And then you can use all kinds of decorations like lemon peels and orange peels or cinnamon sticks, sprigs of lavender and rosemary, flower petals, river rocks, whatever. And you can put those into your container, and then add 20 drops of citronella essential oil, and then 10 drops of lemongrass. Now, lemongrass is kind of like a combination of almost lemon and rosemary, or maybe lemon and like marjoram. It's quite herby, but it's very lemony at the same time. Then you add a tablespoon of witch hazel, which you can buy at the drugstore. You top it off with water, and then you float an unscented floating candle in it, and it will sit on the top of the water, and that oil will just diffuse into the air. And it would be very, very pretty. That's just a nice way to have something pretty on your table. It would be a nice hostess gift if you were going to a barbecue or something. Now, one of the nice things about citronella is that you can Google it, and there's a lot of ways out there to create your own aluminum-free deodorant using citronella. So we'll do that in another class, but you can just Google citronella deodorant. And the reason that you want to kind of either make your own or use non-aluminum based deodorant is that there's a lot of evidence mounting that the aluminum in deodorants is linked to neurological damage associated with things like Alzheimer's disease and ALS. So you want to kind of get, and Parkinson's disease. You want to kind of get that aluminum out of your diet. So the two big offenders are deodorant or antiperspirant and baking powder.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they use aluminum and baking powder. So you have to look to make sure that you're buying aluminum-free baking powder.
I did not know that. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know why they put it in there. God only knows why they put it in there. But anyway, so that's a nice candle that you could make, and some deodorant you can make. lot of people actually use the Thieves toothpaste. If you run out of deodorant on the road and you've got Thieves toothpaste, there's quite a few people who actually use a small dab of Thieves toothpaste as a deodorant because the Thieves oil in it with the clove and the nutmeg are really antibacterial, and they keep the bacteria under your armpit from proliferating, and that's what gives you the smell. So that's another tip if you run out. So this is a little balm that you can make, like a lotion that you can make. It takes a little bit more, but it's really quite nice. I'm going to make some of this to help me with my bruises because I go to dog shows and I get quite bruised pine crates around. And today, coming out of the RV, I slipped on the stairs and whacked the back of my arm. So I'm gonna have a massive bruise there. So I like this one to deal with all of my bruises, mostly because the frankincense and the helichrysum are extremely good healers. So this one, you take a quarter cup of coconut oil and a quarter cup of olive oil. So this will be not really solid, but not liquidy either because of the coconut oil. And then you add a tablespoon of beeswax, and that's helps kind of solidify the balm into more of a lotion texture instead of soup. And you can buy beeswax at any craft store in little tiny pellets. Then 10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of frankincense, which is extremely good on your skin. As an aside, I used it to heal a couple of skin lesions that Loki had. So I just diluted it in a carrier oil and applied it directly to him, and it worked great. And then 5 drops of myrrh or helichrysum, and then a drop of peppermint and 5 drops of tea tree. And the tea tree is like super antibacterial, and the peppermint is cooling, and the lavender is healing, and the helichrysum and the frankincense are just so good for skin and healing. So you melt these ingredients, except the oils, in a double boiler. So the coconut oil, the olive oil, and the beeswax, you melt them in a double boiler. And that can be as simple as a pot with some water in it and a bowl on the top of the pot and you turn the pot on, and the water in the pot just kind of steams the bottom of the bowl and melts them. And then you mix them together, and you take that off the heat and you let it cool. And once it's cool, then you add the essential oils and you pour it into a glass jar, or you can put it in a lip balm tube if you have them. But I keep little herb jars and things and I use them for balms later. And then you just allow it to harden, and it can go in your purse, it can go in your car, and you can use it anytime you kind of bash your arm or leg, or you find that you've just got a sore spot on your skin. And that is kind of the presentation on the things that you can make for summer to help you get through the summer good. Now, I know, Lori, you are already a Young Living member. And so just for people who are watching it later, there are kind of 3 ways that you can buy these products and get started. The first way is full retail, just like ordering on Amazon. You can go to the Young Living website and order what you want, and use my referral code 126-300-91. And you just buy it like that, and you're good to go. If you're like me and you want things on sale, or you want to get things that are less expensive, you can purchase enough the first time you order to get a wholesale price. And when you buy, it's about $135, $140 worth of product, you unlock wholesale purchasing for 12 months. So that means that anytime over the next 12 months, you can order anything you want, whenever you want, for wholesale, and there's no other obligation at all. And then the third way to get the absolute best deal, you get the wholesale ordering, plus you get subscriber points, basically, or like shopping points like you would get at Superstore, is called Essential Rewards in Canada, or Subscribe to Save in the US. And basically what that means is that you take the order that you were going to do as wholesale, and you just put it on the Essential Rewards plan, which is a monthly subscription order. And what that does is then it gives you 10% back in points to your account to spend on other things in another purchase. And if you stay on it long enough, you can go up to 20% or even 25% back. I'm currently at 20% back, just about to the 25%. Now, just because it's on a monthly order doesn't mean that that's what you have to order every month. You can change the order completely. You can cancel it at any time. You keep the points that you've got. Or you could just keep ordering different things every month that you need anyway, and get not only wholesale pricing, but points back to spend on other products. So those are the three ways. If you're wanting to have some more information about that, just pop me a DM on the Facebook group or send me an email and I can walk you through it. Again, it can be a little confusing on the order page. So if you want some help with that, I'm happy to help people navigate that page. These are all good in Canada, the US, Mexico, Europe. There's lots of places, Australia, that you can order Young Living products. So if you're watching from any of those places, just let me know and I can help you navigate through those. So that's it for summer DIY. Thank you. Do you have any questions, Lori? Any comments, thoughts? No? Okay. All good. Well, here's hoping that summer arrives soon and that we can use some of these marinades on our barbecues without having to go out in our winter hat and the 3 coats. And hopefully we'll see you at another class soon. The next class, here, let me grab my calendar. The next class is, where is it? Oh, the next class looks like it's oils and crystals on May 29th on a Sunday. So that's kind of another cool one. If you have any, lots of people are really interested in crystals and rocks and how to use them with essential oils. So if you're at all interested in that, that's the one that you want to join for. So thank you for coming tonight, Lori, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you all soon.